Hello, friends. This is Professor Guglov. On my channel, you mostly watch videos about the beautiful world around us. But today, it's a little different. What is it about? Keep watching to find out. Hidden everyday life. North Korean homes. The first photograph captures the essence of the constraints of simple life in North Korean society. It shows a modest house, almost unfurnished, but meticulously cleaned. Bare wooden planks on the floor, austere furniture and few personal belongings on display. Modest enough living conditions. In a prominent place hangs a portrait ruling the Kim dynasty, a must-have decor in every home. This combination of simple, even ascetic living conditions with the constant presence of the state in it is striking. There is literally nowhere people can hide from the presence of politics. Children at play. Invisible joy. The following footage shows touching scenes. North Korean children at play. Their faces, shining with innocent joy, contrast against the monotonous interiors. The children are engrossed in a game of soccer with a homemade ball. What a contrast of their cheerfulness in the colorless concrete background. Children in any country are indomitable and resilient, they are content with what they have. However, there is a sad undertone to this image too. The clothes, clearly inherited from older siblings, look very worn out. The soccer field is just a bare patch of ground amidst the concrete. The joy and openness of the children is a testament to their spirit, but also to the harsh realities in which they have to grow up. It is a reminder that behind the headlines and political tensions, there are ordinary children trying to find joy in the simplest things, just like children in every other country in the world. Such simple moments, filled with joy, resilience, sadness, reflect so much and even, in some ways, inspire. Under surveillance. A street in Pyongyang. The following footage shows a seemingly unremarkable street corner in Pyongyang. At first glance, it appears to be an ordinary street. Citizens going about their business, cars passing by, the rhythm of everyday life. But if you look closely, you will notice that there are many surveillance cameras. Cameras are installed in literally every available place. They're watching the daily life of the city. It's frightening. Constant attention and control, that's what the state does to its citizens. Every step, every word spoken is monitored. Constant surveillance of people is a central part of the government's control mechanism. Suppressing freedom of speech, cultivating a culture of self-censorship. The fear of being seen and caught feeds the fear of the state, and therefore its power. Constant control is what lies behind the grand monuments and orderly city life. The subway system. A slice of freedom. Now we're going to take a look at a slice of North Korea that a non-citizen rarely gets to see. The Pyongyang subway features grand Soviet-style architecture, ornate chandeliers and walls covered in murals. It is a completely different world from the typical austere buildings. Ironically, the subway is one of the few places where citizens can have private conversations away from the watchful eyes of the state. You can see that passengers are immersed in quiet discussions or in their own thoughts. It all looks a bit solemn. The subway is one of the few places where North Koreans' faces are not guarded so strictly. Here, the tension of constant vigilance briefly subsides. But the atmosphere is still saturated with propaganda and the majesty of power. The subway system serves a double purpose. On the one hand, it offers those elusive moments of privacy and freedom, but on the other hand it also reveals the omnipresent insidiousness of the state. The subway is a kind of slice of freedom, a metaphorical space for a temporary respite from ruthless control. The scene in the marketplace. Next we observe the hustle and bustle of the local market, a crucial aspect of North Korean life that foreigners rarely see. The shelves are half empty and the goods look rather plain. This image contrasts strongly with the images of glittering shopping malls shown in official propaganda. Vendors sell a variety of goods ranging from basic foodstuffs to second-hand clothes. Some products, such as fruits and vegetables, seem quite ordinary, but there are also items that appear to be recycled or made from recycled materials. All of this just shows a lack of resources. The conditions in which these people live speak of their ingenuity, born of the need to make do with limited resources. Interestingly, it is markets that reveal the undercurrent of informal capitalism in an economy that is so zealously controlled by the state. Despite the tight control, markets still serve as an important lifeline for the average North Korean. All this reflects the resilience of the people as well as the reality of the food situation in the country. Tradition versus modernity. Dress code issues. North Korea also has a problem with clothing choices. We see a picture of a man dressed in traditional clothing and next to him a young woman in more modern Western-style clothing. This clash of styles shows the changes in society, the effects of globalization, and attempts to express oneself in a society with limited opportunities. The man is wearing a hanbok, reflecting tradition and national identity. It is a symbol of the nation and the regime's efforts to maintain cultural purity. On the other hand, the young woman's attire reflects the growing influence of global fashion trends that are stealthily penetrating society despite strict controls. The tension between traditional and modern views of dress suggests that people seek to express identity. Of course, such is heavily tinged by political narratives. But even here, in very limited circumstances, aspirations for self-expression and modernity can persist. To an outside observer, the difference may seem minimal, but it is there, and it shows very subtly the manifestation of individualism and nonconformism. Technology gap. Old radio. In this photo, we see an outdated radio receiver. A vivid symbol of the technological gap between North Korea and the rest of the world. The device, which is decades old, is a standard fixture in homes. The radio is mainly used to listen to news broadcasts, which of course are strictly controlled by the government. The devices are modified to receive signals only from channels authorized by the state. There is a very strict control over the incoming information. All this makes us think about the huge gap in technology development between North Korea and the developed world. In the age of smartphones and the internet, having such old radios in the house speaks volumes about the country's complete isolation and the government's efforts to control all incoming information. Fading beauty. An abandoned park. In the next photo we see a once beautiful park, now faded and abandoned. Overgrown with weeds, the park's crumbling buildings and rusting playground equipment reflect the country's decline. The deserted park whispers stories of happier times. The state of the park now is not at all associated with the laughter and joy that once reigned here. This park serves as a metaphor for unrealized potential as well as the gradual degradation of the nation under oppressive rule. This place is a testament to the regime's misplaced priorities and the harsh reality of everyday life in North Korea. Empty classrooms. The paradox of education. The ninth photo invites us into a North Korean classroom. It is eerily quiet, without the typical noise of a school full of children. Rows of empty desks, the teacher's blackboard covered with ideological slogans. The lack of modern teaching tools is conspicuous. All this forms a frightening picture of the education system in the country. This quiet classroom does not at all reflect the grandiose statements of the state about their priorities in education. Paradox. A system that prioritizes political ideological processing of children over genuine learning. Despite outward claims of a strong education system, this photo reveals a disturbing truth about the direction and quality of education in the country. Friends, don't hesitate to write comments under the video about what else you would like to learn. I will definitely fulfill your wish. Bye for now.